Hey everybody, welcome to Pentiment. This is a brand new game, probably one of the newer games that I've played on here. It just came out like last week, and it's supposed to be really good. It's made by Bethesda. They've done Fallout New Vegas, you may have heard of that game, and they did the South Park games too, which is a little similar to this, but on the maturity level, it's probably on opposite ends. So it's based on like 14th century manuscripts. So I guess it's like a crime mystery as well. So I guess we'll check it out and see what this game's all about. I like the stylized fonts. They do have a lot of accessibility options and such. Is that a rock? I can't read any of that. Oh. It's an eraser. So yeah, you can tell this was kind of a niche game. The people who made it fought pretty hard to get it made. It's kind of like Quentin Tarantino making a stop-motion animated movie from the film perspective. People are just kind of like, what? I mean, you'd expect someone like Wes Anderson, but... long fingers. Thank you, Josh Sawyer, for bringing this unique game, April 15, 18. A dream sequence. The abbot said to me, Andres, I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Isn't that much earlier than you were expecting? Yes. He had told me I had until the Ides of May. Asshole. And he's not going to pay you anymore, is he? He has no appreciation for the cost of sweat. The yield of labor should not be measured in coin, but in personal satisfaction and self-improvement. Personal satisfaction doesn't put much food on the table, though, does it? How do you reply to the abbot, Andres? Said I would do my best to get it done by the end of April. With discipline and mindfulness, you will persevere. If you don't kill yourself striving to meet the abbot's unreasonable expectations. But she said, what's the point in burning your candle at the nub for the idiot abbot's sake? Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will finish both of the abbot's work, as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and a new life as a master await you. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus. You should definitely get married. Is she pretty, at least? They put Jesus in red. That's what monks do. You put Jesus in red. The small portrait they sent was lovely, but we artists can be flatterers. It is growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? I can't always dream of this place, your majesty. Of course, if you are not here tomorrow night, I pray you will be someplace as pleasant. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. Ship of fools. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. Ow! At least I would, if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Woob. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. You'll be fine. I don't want to cause any trouble. That's no way to think about it. You need to stand up for yourself. God! Would you please... Give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Good morning, Ursula. Time to get up. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameriton. Curate Frennick keeps giving me all these books to read. Prior. Really should clean this up. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Ordinary as far as sleeping goes. Well, as long as you didn't sleep poorly. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the albums. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the abbey. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Here you are, Andreas. That's too kind of you, Clara. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it, even more than usual, I mean. I can't promise anything. I'll see what I can do. Of course, I understand. I hate to even ask it of you. Our taxes got harder to pay every year. Peter works hard, but it never seems like it's enough. St. Luke bless you for helping us out. Speaking of St. Luke, how's your masterpiece coming along? It'll be 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the Divine Office that Prior Frennick allows me to work on your masterpiece. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The City Council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after some wandering. Must be rather frightening, starting it all over again. It is, but I know now this is what I want to do. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone in Tassel. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. It's getting there. Hard work will get you all the way. That's what my father used to say. God rest his soul. Good. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas. We'll see you after Vespers for supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. Hello, Andreas. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Big Jorg. How's it going? Are you working today? Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with the plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey? Every day but Sunday. Right, thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming now. Just smells like fresh alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wandershore? Before you came to Tossing? Pick a background that will affect your character's choices going forward. Andreas knows some Italian and French and can use cultural touchstones from Basel, nearby Bern, Zurich, and Fredericksburg. Knows some Dutch and French, Italian, Dutch, or Greek. Antwerp, Bruges, Ghent, all of the great art cities of Flanders. Where's that? North and west, down by the sea. There's your problem. The sea air has confused your sense of smell. Spend enough time in the mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years. I don't think I have that long, Big Jorg. What'd you spend all that time in Flanders doing, anyway? Other than art, I mean. Seeks out pleasure, extremely social, and quite experienced in enjoyable vices. Kind of want to do bookworm, but I think for the purposes of the game, I'll do rapscallion. Getting into trouble, got involved in a scheme or two, a bit of mischief, more than a few brawls. Antwerp is overflowing with riches, rich fools and traders from across Christendom and beyond. There's always someone to have a bit of fun with, or a bit of a fight. Sounds like a strange way to pass the time, Andres. Anyway, I got to get going. Jorg, let's go! Dad's already acting like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andres. Till later. Ill Peter, or is it Lil Peter? God bless you, Andres. Oh, yes, Andres. This weather's been god awful. This town's gone to shit since my days. Were things very different when you were young? As different as beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother me much out in the customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perche to keep the skies clear and the weather fair. Oh, here we go. That's cool. Perche, pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She's still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips. Saint Moritz is the pagan saint of Tassing. Legend states he was the Egyptian-born commander of a Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His band is a relic in Christian shrine. I thought St. Moritz prevented Tasling. Yes, and St. Sadie too, but who be you to think protected it before they came along? One of Tassin's patron saints, statue was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided St. Moritz soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. The saints weren't the first to watch over Tassin. My father knew that. Old Renning Kempa knew that. Late husband of Attila. Oh, who's Attila? That bastard abbot may not like it. Some of us keep the traditions alive. Like the old widow Attila. Yes, yes, she always hangs the door frame with lavender to keep the spirits out. Even if it doesn't help the spirits, it does smell nice. I suppose. I just know it helps with ghosts and witches and whatnot. I should go. Alright, God bless you. I mean, I guess it is ill Peter. And then there's normal Peter. Andres? Ill Peter's a rapper. Adris Smith's smithy. It's much smaller than the one he used at the Abbey. Hello, Andres. What? Hello, Andres. Hey, Andres. Sheep are blocking the way. Sheeps are blocking the way here, too. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on him. That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, For God's sake, help your cousin. For Christ's sake. He was going to be either God or Christ. Oh, morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. Is there something I can do to help? You ever handled sheep before? Well, no. Then no, but thank you. Christian, if you offer. Oh, look, there's something going on up at the Staliner's place. Who's that on the horse? Looks rich. I don't know, Martin, but Lucky's given him his own earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Chera's wedding when Jogan pulled his pants down. Hey, it's a frog with a hat. At least I think that's what that is. Knocked two of my man's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. You think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What, Aunt Hetty? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up to the road, we need to get your sheep under control. Of course, see you later. Help your aunt and cousin, alright? Eat shit, Andreas. Rude. You must be the typesetter. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, class. Another day at the Abbey. Another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You coming by for supper tonight? Murray and Bert would love to see you. You really need to see these new woodcuts. I have them for an Italian edition of Till Isbingle, titular character of a popular 15th century book. Till is a prankster, continually exposing his vices and the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling or touching or eating his excrement. That sounds pretty modern. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas, he's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from venture stories of questionable moral repute. He doesn't mind those so much, actually. No? As long as they don't get too carnal. Oh. So, supper tonight after Vespers? Monastic hour at dusk. One of the major prayer hours is followed by supper. Okay. Of course, thank you. Great, I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming to see you then. See you later. This must be the Abbey. God bless, Master Mailer. Hope your week is going well. Thank you, Father, but I'm running late to the Abbey. It's no problem if you don't have time for me today, but the question is, will you have time for the Lord on Sunday? You understand how important it is for your Savior that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? Or salvation. You receive your Holy Communion, don't you? I do, but I've been working sketches late at night, and... Andreas, this is about more than your success in this life. There is enough... Oh my, what blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mailer, this is Lawrence, Baron of Rothvogel. Great lord from the countryside near Worms. Prosperous imperial... Why did I say tropical? Free city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine River. Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as becoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. Capital of the Austrian country of Tyrol, major stop of Imperial Road connecting Italy to Bavaria, closest major city to Kirsten Abbey and Tassing. Notably, it was also the site of the witch trials in 1485. Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula, sitting northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea. Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. I mean, it has a certain charm common to those in alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet. The imperial diet is an assembly of 3 colleges of the imperial estates of the Holy Roman Empire. Prince electors, the prince and dukes, and representative imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the empire. So they're basically like a congress. The emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? Well, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Who's the artist, my lord? I'm sure you know him, an older man from Nuremberg, with enough of a reputation to paint the emperor. That was not interesting. I'm sorry, my lord, I'm not sure who you mean. Have you not heard of Albrecht Dürer? Pity. I thought he was known across the empire. Albrecht Dürer is a renowned painter and printmaker from Nuremberg. He's revered in Venice as well as across the Holy Roman Empire. Since 1512, he's enjoyed the patronage of Emperor Maximilian I. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, but I decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Kiersau. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. Abbot of Kiersau before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns, as well as people of Tassing, known for his kindness and other books. A great loss for the Abbey, and for us all. Indeed, by good fortune I recently come across the copy of the Historia Tassinae he was reading during my last visit. Account of the early history of Tassing. Kirsten's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the Abbey as a gift. That might have to do with the mystery later. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. Ah, yes. But I must be off. There won't be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I've come to check on its progress. Oh, my lord, if you come to see your manuscript, you should speak with the young Master Mailer here. It's an honor to meet you, my lord. Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping the Abbey's scriptorium. Room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. They're typically associated with monasteries. They have disappeared from almost all abbeys in the 16th century. A Nuremberger artist working for an abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Well, I'm already late to the abbey, but I suppose it's alright. Of course it is. I'll have a word with the abbot if he makes a fuss. And if he still makes a fuss, I'll have a word with the Prince Bishop of Friesland, a good friend of mine. Religious and secular ruler of the scattered territories in the Holy Roman Empire, including the lands containing Island and Cursing Abbey. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What's he going to do, refuse us? Excellent. We'll be seeing you then. Mitchellus, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mailer. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. Are you unmarried? No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. One of the most populous cities in the empire, is located near its heart. It's been a home to respected university since 1379 and the center for humanist thought. Erfurt, wonderful! The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg, controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me. No, he was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they've even read his list of 95 theses against the church. List of propositions against the church practice of selling indulgences. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. Hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Excuse me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. No, my family is merely wealthy enough to provide me with all of the books and tutors a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle and Cicero to Fenero and Aristotle's, and everyone in between and yet to come. Cicero, statesman, scholar, lawyer, and renowned orator of late Roman Republic, he is revered both for his contributions to Latin literature and his skill at rhetoric. Ficino, I guess it's Italian, it's probably Ficino. 15th century Italian priest and humanist, who was one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He's well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. I know who Aristotle is. Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who was preeminent among northern humanists. He is known for his works in Latin and Greek, as well as his calls for reform within the church. I may have misjudged the Baron, if he seems well-read as any university student. In truth, I'm simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working toward a doctorate, but I didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. What was your area of study? Law, I suppose. I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I I've had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my taste. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions, Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law. Nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense than learn it myself. You! If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lawrence Rothbell. Perchata's dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind a fate. Oh, that's the goddess. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? What was that about? Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, that old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, yes? The trivium and quadrivium represent the lower and upper divisions of classic liberal arts, university education. Latin, grammar, logic, and rhetoric form the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. That's interesting. Did you have a favorite subject? I used my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interests. Oh, esoteric how? Mystical texts, books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination, purely academic, of course. Of course. I started with that's that name again. Ficino, Corpus Hermectium, and my interest only deepened from there. Compilation of 17 religious and philosophical treatises encompassing the soteriology of Hermes Trismegistus, or thrice great Hermes. The centuries-old text reflects the Egyptian, Greek, and Jewish traditions and ideas that were translated into Latin in the late 15th century by Marsilio Finiso and Lodovico Lazzarelli. Quite interesting, Andres. I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay. Please be discreet about it, my lord. Yes, that's why we'll talk about it later. Like how it just shows you illustrations if there's nothing to translate. And your other studies? Was there anything else you excelled at? Logic, geometry, and arithmetic. Quite interesting for an artist. Was Aristotle's Organon the foundation of your study? Yes, the Organon for logic, for Euclid's Elements for geometry, but the past few centuries have yielded a wonderful new text on logic. Mathematician of ancient Alexandria is recognized as the father of geometry. He is most well known for his book of Elements, the foundation of all university education on geometry. Peter Abelard provided the foundation of scholastic philosophy and established the primacy of Aristotle's work. 12th century French teacher, philosopher, and theologian, who is known for his philosophical work in logic and his theological work in atonement theory. He is also remembered for his love affair with a student, a renowned Benedictine nun, abbess, and scholar, Heloise de Argentou. That was probably not right, but whatever. The Englishman, William of Ockham, gave us the Summa Logicae, arguing nominalism against Platonic realism. 13th and 14th century English Franciscan philosopher and theologian, known for his commentaries on Peter Abelard's 4 books of sentences, his defense of apostolic poverty, and his writings on faith and reason. And of course, Thomas Aquinas gave us the tools to employ both faith and reason in the pursuit of truth. Immensely influential philosopher, theologian, and jurist in the tradition of scholasticism. All monks and friars, of course, a great deal to force Aristotle to fit in with the Church's vision of truth. Is that so wrong? I question that these great men should have to wrestle logic into what the Church established by fiat and force. Ah, there's the Abbey. I have good memories of this place, and of Father Matthias. Sad to hear of his passing. How did you know him? How did you come to know all of Kürzion at all? My family have been patrons of Curacao for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard Kürzion still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. This is as good a place as any to create art. Certainly, though I'm sure you miss the comforts of Nuremberg when you're stuck in a drafty old abbey like this. I do, but the abbot's paying good money, good enough to put up with a bit of discomfort. That's good for me, since I still appreciate the abbey's work. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Gernot a year ago. Thought it would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no, I do know the artist as well, the venerable brother Piero. He's old. How venerable? Still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. And I very much look forward to seeing it. Nicholas, tend the horses and baggage. I'm heading up to the abbey. Yes, my lord. Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Founded in the 6th century, Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience and poverty, chastity and stability under the rules of Saint Benedict of Nursia. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then, Kürzion is a place out of time in more ways than one. Do you know Mother Cecilia? She seemed to recognize you. We are acquainted, yes. Let's leave it at that. Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I'm Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothwell. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. Ah, if you say so. I'm not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but it wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I rode ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Well, yes, no. It's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I'll meet you there. Andres, I don't know what you're doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. Book of Hours, type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of the prayers for the divine office, in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. Why are you taking this out on me? It's not my problem. Shit, I should have asked him about an advance for Gunner's taxes. Maybe I could just convince Brother Nathan to pay me early. Matthew. If all else fails, I could liberate some money from the scarcity. Find a way to get paid. I can open a map now. That's cool. Could steal the funds. Oh, I see. It's all the stuff I picked. Jeez. A lot of characters. Pretty cool. Containing the head of Saint Moritz, which once held the Holy Lance. Spear of Destiny, Lance of Wagenas. God bless you. God bless you, Master Mailer. How goes your work in the scriptorium? It could be better. Would it make you happier if I told you Agnes Centurium received some saffron yesterday? Really? Where'd you hear that? Sister Matilda saw her at Albion's. Maybe you can convince Prior Pharaonic to get you some yellows. Good to know. How's Mansfanger? She's around here somewhere, hopefully getting the baby rabbits before Sister Matilda does. Till later, Sister Gertrude. Bless you, Andreas. Maybe I'll see that shrine of Saint Stadia one of these days. See you by the shrine. God bless you, Brother Piero? No, wait, it's Master Mailer. Thought you couldn't see, Sister Margaret. During the day, I can see some colors. How did you know it was me? You and Brother Piero both smell of the pigments you use. But you're taller and have another smell to you, like fish or burned almonds. Oh, that's old linseed oil, popular among the Italians, but Brother Piero doesn't use it. I'll ask Sister Gertrude about it. How are Sister Gertrude's herbs coming? It's too early to tell. Most of them won't be grown until May. Still working with herbs suits me. Have a good day, Sister Margaret. God bless you, Master Mailer. Mathieu maintains the shrine alliance and the sisters who paint badges for pilgrims. Okay. Where's the scriptorium?
Victime
God bless you, Andreas. How's the sacristy today, Matthew? The same as yesterday. Does my vocation seem silly to you, Master Mailer? No, I was just being friendly. Then go in peace, friend, knowing that the Abbey's treasures are secure for another day. God be with you. One more thing, I have a favor to ask you. Yes, Andreas? I was hoping you could give me my pay for the latest manuscripts early. This isn't part of the agreement you made with Father Gernot. Will you pay it on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before? Can't you make an exception just this once? Not without good reason. This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble with not only Cursian, but for Trassing as well. Is that why the Father Abbot has increased the taxes on the courtiers? What's this about, Andreas? The Gertners have asked me to pay their rent early so they can pay their taxes to the Abbey. I see, very well. Do not ask this of me again, Andreas Mailer. Here you are. I shall note this with Father Gernot and Prior Fernand. Thank you, Brother Matthew. God bless you, Andreas. He's a tiny man. Alright, now that I've got my payment, I can give Clara the rent early. I guess I do need the freaking map. Okay, Old Bailey, then the scriptorium. Okay, now that I'm at the scriptorium, I think I'm going to call it here for the day, and this is definitely an interesting game. Maybe a little boring, but some people. But once we get the story rolling, it seems like most of this is just getting introduced to the characters and also creating your own backstory and stuff, which is pretty interesting. So hopefully I'll be able to do things logically, and I think that'll help with the mystery aspect of the game anyway. At least hopefully. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a good weekend, and we'll have more of this on Monday. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.